I proceed my trip further and further east, and I gradually approach the eastern border of Portugal. My goal is Elvas, the last Portuguese town on my route. But before I reach Elvas, I'm going to stop at another small town with a palace and a castle, and I'm going to visit the castle. This small town is called Vila Viçosa. I just arrived at the parking lot of Vila Viçosa Castle. Now it's too late and the interior of the castle is closed, but I can enter inside the walls and make a circle around the castle. Today there is an archaeological and hunting museum inside the castle, and this is the entrance to the museum. This castle was built at the end of the 13th century and served as a residence of Braganza dynasty and as a military fortification. After the War of Restoration with Spain, it was abandoned but now is restored and turned into a tourist attraction. I proceed on my route further. In front of me is Elvas, the last town in Portugal before I enter Spain. I just reached Elvas. This is the last town in Portugal. Before I leave Portugal, I will sleep here. Now it's almost evening. This town is also full of some points of interest, but now it's too late, so now I will just walk around the old town. I parked my car in a parking lot with nice panoramic views. This is what the easternmost part of Portugal looks like. This is the old town of Elvas. Again, as in the other old towns, here the streets are narrow and mostly steep. Probably because it is evening, I can't see any tourists here, but only locals. This is the main square of the old town, and here is where the Cathedral of Elvas is located. I proceed further on the narrow streets. Everything is silent and tranquil. A nice environment to immerse in the history. Elvas exists from Moorish times and in the 13th century was conquered by the Portuguese. Since then, the town has played an important role as a border settlement between Portugal and Spain. Two polygonal fortifications were built around Elvas, one in the south of the town and one in the north, and I'm going to visit them in the next day. They were crucial during the wars with Spain and Napoleonic France in the beginning of the 19th century. The old town of Elvas is surrounded by a wall, and a large section of the wall is still preserved. This is the main castle of Elvas, the highest point of the old town, a part of the fortification of the town. Don't miss the epic forts and the journey into Spain. Hit that subscribe button now so you don't miss the rest of this adventure. A new day, early morning. I go out of the old town beside the Amureira aqueduct, a medieval construction, one of the best preserved aqueducts in Europe. First, I visit the ruins of a small fort called Fort of São Pedro. It was an important part of the fortification system of Elvas, built in the middle of the 17th century. Now I am in front of Fort de Santa Lucia, one of the two main forts around Elvas, located at the southern side of the town. Unfortunately, now it is closed, so I can see it only from outside. But if you want to explore it inside, take a look at the video Elvas Forte de Santa Lucia Fort by Travel Experiences. Now I go to Forte de Nossa Senhora da Graça, the other main fort located in the northern side of Elvas. It is built on a hill with great panoramic views of Elvas. I enjoy the views while I'm waiting for the opening of the site. This is Forte da Graça, the last point of interest in Portugal. A fort built only a few kilometers from the border with Spain and served as a defensive fortification along the wars with Spain from the second half of the 18th century and the beginning of the 19th century. So let's explore it. Forte de Nossa Senhora da Graça has a polygonal shape and it reveals a complex networks of tunnels and corridors in a few levels. They are so complex that someone can get lost in the maze. I find the exit of the tunnels under the wall and enter the central building. Again, it is octagonal and contains maze-like tunnel system in 3 floors. Here I reach a room with the model of the fortress and some important artifacts from the time when it was most active. This is the second floor of the building. This is the third floor, the office of the military commanders. I go out and watch the panoramic views from the walls. In front of me is Spain, only a few minutes away by car driving. So stay with me in this trip, enter Spain with me in the next videos, and subscribe to our channel Journey Beyond the Horizon for more video journeys.